So Damian Lillard's first media day outside of Portland, it had him feel in some type of way. If you can do a little lip reading here, you can see he's saying that he's never been in a photo like this ever before as they're doing their sort of multimedia availability there. And he means that literally, right? Because in his 11 years in the NBA, Dame has played with 3 All-Stars total. And over there, he's standing next to 3 in that picture alone. So Dame told our Hall of Famer Mark Spears that this is where I am supposed to be. But that's just the beginning of Spears' conversation with both Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You have a lot of superstars in this league, but you keep saying Giannis was the guy that you wanted to play with. Why?
I think when I hear him speak and how he goes about his business is, he speaks my language. He goes about it in the way that I've always done it. And for me to be able to coexist, I think that's the kind of person that it would mesh best with.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing to have the opportunity to play with a guy like that. A guy that's, built from the same cloth as you. We have the opportunity to do something great, and that, that's exciting for me.
Can you envision a long term in Milwaukee now?
I always envisioned myself to be in Milwaukee, but at the end of the day, before loyalty, winning comes first. We are judged on winning. I'm a winner. I want to win, and he wants it too. He wants it too. Dame wants it too. I can. When he talks to me, I can feel it. The way he walks, I can feel it. The way he practices, I can feel it. He wants it badly.
I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. We all know who he is and what he comes with. And now we just got to put it together. And I think it'll be the kind of ride that people expect it to be.
Well, the ride that people expect it to be is a championship ride. So let's take a look. Let's go on a little journey, actually, because the odds makers' expectations, they have changed a lot over the past week. So what you're looking at right now, this is before the Damian Lillard trade went down. You can see the Bucks' odds to win a title. So let's then go to what happened after that trade went down. Okay, all right, Milwaukee, we're moving up a little bit to the over here. But this is still before Jrue Holiday was traded to the Celtics. So if we could see how everything shook out there. Now we have a conversation. The Bucks plus 400, the Celtics plus 450 to win an NBA title. Although Jrue, he wasn't actually available at media day yesterday, physicals, all that stuff, they still need to go down. His teammate, Jaylen Brown, spoke incredibly highly of him. He said he can really propel this team. So Boston has the most playoff wins of anybody without an NBA title since Brown entered the league. How can Jrue Holiday be that piece for the Boston Celtics?
Look, the Celtics gave up a lot for Jrue Holiday. 2 draft assets, Malcolm Brogdon, 6th man of the year, Robert Williams, a young defensive-minded center they really liked. But this is the kind of trade you make 10 times out of 10 where you have a shot to win the title. The Celtics are better today with Jrue Holiday than they were 2 days ago without him. He replaces a lot of the defensive identity that they could lean on with Marcus Smart. Switchable, rugged, tough, capable of playing a lot of different styles. Offensively, he's not a traditional point guard, and he won't be asked to play that kind of role in Boston as often as he had to in Milwaukee. Kristaps Porzingis becomes really the 4th option, and that's perfect. That's about as much as I want for him on the very biggest stages. This is an absolutely loaded top 6. They've got some depth questions to sort out. You know who else has depth questions? Pretty much every top-heavy good championship contender in the league. It was a really good trade, a really bold trade. And last thing, Malika, you know what my favorite part of that graphic you had with all the shifting odds was?
What?
The Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets were on the screen.
Chilling.
Remember the Denver Nuggets? They won the championship last year. We barely talked about them.
Well, the Denver Nuggets are still chilling as the favorites in the West. Yeah, you know what? You guys all talk about your splashy trades. We're just going to run it back with the best duo in the NBA and see what it's all said and done when it comes June. But let's stick with the Eastern Conference here because the Bucks and the Celtics, Zach, they were obviously contenders prior to Dame and Jrue being traded. But then they shook things up a little bit. So that begs the question, who won the arms race in the East? And I know games need to be played to officially figure this out, Janae, but let's just do where it stands as of what day is it? October 2nd, 3rd?
Want to know?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. They have won the arms trade. And the reason is because a lot of people say, okay, Jrue is gone. The biggest hole, what is the question, is defense, because he's one of the best two-way players in the NBA and all-star. Well, I see that, but I also see that the Bucks defense is fourth best in the NBA. They still got that guy right there, Giannis. They still have Brook Lopez, who was a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. But the big answer here, why I believe they're number one in expectance for a championship, or at least the Eastern Conference title, right, is because of the offense. The Bucks were 15th in offense, and they're adding Dame Lillard, who I believe is around 6th all-time in made threes. That offense really struggled. They won games because they were a great team. But now you insert one of the best perimeter scorers that we've seen in the NBA, an all-75 type of guy in Dame. That offense goes up. Maybe the defense drops a little bit.
Right.
They did not lose much, but they gained a lot, especially when it comes to championship pedigree.
Okay.
Janae, I'm with you.
Oh, thanks, Sid.
Bucks won. They won this offseason, I think. You know, it's a doubling down on the offensive strength that they're going to have. It's going to be a huge riddle trying to figure out how to stop the pick and roll. Dame, Giannis, sure. You will miss the defense of Jrue. However, they're not going to fall off of a cliff defensively. They still have 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates in Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Another thing that, while you were illustrating all the things, Shanae, we forget just how good the Bucks are. Chris Middleton played 33 games last season. If he comes back healthy or even healthier, I mean, just how crazy can this Bucks team get? And then the Celtics, what they did this offseason is very exciting, but for me, I see a lot of new over there in Boston. And when I look at the Bucks, they bring back a lot of the same roster with an upgrade in Damian Lillard. This is a team that brings back veteran experience, championship experience, competitive nature.
New coach, though.
New coach, but he doesn't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
He doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. And guess what? You know, this Bucks team has done well in the regular season. Sometimes they have fallen short of expectation in the playoffs. And I believe that's also where Dame can help them in those high-pressure clutch situation in the playoffs. Why are you giving me squinty eyes, Malika? What's going on?
I don't think I agree with you.
So who you got? Who won this one?
I think it's the Boston Celtics.
Why?
I think that well, we were talking about this a little bit in the break, and I was trying to, why I was smiling like that is because I was picturing doing like, yeah, I'm with you, no, I'm not, and then I was laughing to myself because I'm a dork. But I just think that, you know, the Milwaukee Bucks, I do think they have the best player on the floor in Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the big question mark for the Celtics is Kristaps Porzingis. But they have a hell of a starting 5 over there in Boston. They have some things to figure out who's coming off the bench. Is it going to be Al Horford that's going to be the 6th man? But, Zach, I think I'm giving the edge to the Celtics.
I know who lost the arms race. The 76ers, the Heat, and everyone else in the Eastern Conference. Both these teams won. Both these teams won. Both these teams are much better than they were a week ago. Dame is the best player that was acquired. Dame and Giannis are the best 2-man game in the conference and maybe the NBA, although those guys in Denver are going to have something to say about that. And interestingly, you know, the Celtics, they lost their best Giannis defender in Grant Williams, and the Bucks, they lost their best Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown defender in Jrue Holiday. Both teams, if they do meet head-to-head, when they do, have questions to answer of like, who's guarding the best guys on the other team? But I would give a teensy edge to Boston.
I was wondering when we were going to get to it.
Only for this reason. Age. Because their 2 guys, and Derek White as well, are right square in the young parts of their primes. Brook Lopez got mentioned a lot when you guys were talking about the Bucks. He was amazing last year. They need him to be amazing again now that he and Giannis are kind of holding up that defense by themselves. His age, Chris Middleton's injuries, that makes me just a little bit nervous. Teensy edge to Boston.
The teeniest, tiniest, teensiest, babiest edge is going to the Boston Celtics. It's when, like, you say, I want a sliver of pie, and someone gives you something this big. I'm like, no, I want it tiny. Let's go coast to coast. No more piercings. But what does President Masai Ujiri think about a new deal for Pascal Siakam?
We do believe in Pascal. We do believe that a lot of our players didn't play the right way last year, and we want to see them play the right way. I said it that we were selfish. I'm not running away from that. We were selfish and we did not play the right way. So let us see it when we play the right way.
Hey, Siakam, in the last year of his current deal, were you surprised by what Masai said here, Zach?
That was a whoa boy. He said the quiet part out loud, and he said it specifically about Pascal Siakam and lots of other people on the team, I guess. That one made some waves around the league yesterday. But look, money and a big fat extension offer tends to mend fences, so we'll see what happens.
Let's take a look at the NBA's new resting policy, because Kawhi Leonard had some thoughts as well.
Would love to hear your thoughts on the new NBA player participation policy.
What are they? I just don't know the policy. What is the policy, though?
Okay, I'm going to ask you a different question.
I work out every day in the summertime to play the game, not to sit and watch people play. No. So no league policy is helping me to play more games.
So this is interesting because we laid out earlier this summer on our show that Kawhi didn't actually miss a ton of games for resting. It was for injury management. That's what he was missing games for. So he's actually right in saying that he didn't miss that many games for that. But Shanae, how do you read all this and how star players are going to react to this new player resting policy?
In my Zach Lowe voice, another whoa boy hearing that. And I believe it because I'm someone who has been in that position when you have a couple of nicks and knacks, you have a couple of surgeries, and some things are just never adding up to you feeling completely out there. And they're real injuries. But I was I guess I wasn't too surprised because does he still have a flip phone? You know what I mean? Like, he just focuses on that. No, my thing is, right. Like, he's out of the loop, and that's the best place to be when you're a basketball player of his caliber wanting to play well. And so I'm not surprised he doesn't know, even though it centers upon him, because this is the only player that could work for, Kawhi Leonard.
However, I do feel like maybe Clippers PR could have been like, hey, there have been some resting policy rule changes here. You might get questions on them.
Right,
so
you've been the picture on every article.
So annoyed, but I feel like Kawhi Leonard gave everyone a per my last email response, where he just had to clarify a few things and let everybody know that's not the reason why he was missing games, or at least give his reason for why he was giving games. So, per my last email, Malika.